Okay, so before actually starting this video, if I don't know, look a bit tired, seem a bit tired, then that's because I took a nap and I just woke up to read the chapter. If not, then it's a good thing I wear these glasses so that you can't see it. Anyway, guys, I normally don't really like to make, reviews after a chapter or anything like that, but this chapter was, wow. Okay, it was just wow. And the only reason I read it now is because someone, sent me a message and they're like, you have to read this chapter. It wasn't any of those you have to read these chapters like, guys, just read the chapter, it's come out early anyway, just read it. Just it was like one of those, you have to read the chapter. And so how can I say no? It's someone you trust, I just had to read the chapter. But anyway, guys, wow. Okay, so first of all, color spread. That was really cool to see the whole dynamic there. And I felt like it was really nice because it just seemed a little less busy than some of the others. I don't know. I like the less busy ones, the more calm, open space, not a lot going on. You can clearly see what's there. Maybe there's like a particular message. This one was like the whole dynamic between the three, and I really like that. So, color spread gets 10 points from me. But the chapter, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'll manage to cover everything I want to say. So I might have to, like, after this, just re-record some parts if I realize I missed anything. But I'll try and make sure I get it all in one go and all within, about up to 12 minutes. Anyway, first of all, Kanjuro, like, he's no slouch. I mean, he's been with them for, I don't know if what to make of the jumping through time, but many years since Odin picked him up, he's been with these guys. He knows them, so it's no surprise that he was expecting them. Although I was a bit confused, but it makes sense. He went to the back to expect them there because even though that was Law's plan, because he couldn't find them anywhere else, there was no reports of them anywhere else, the back seemed like the only place which had no reports. So I guess if I was Kanjuro, I'd check the back as well. So, I mean, Kanjuro, it's no surprise he's there, but what is a surprise is, bro, apart from the samurai, just how massive is everyone? Look at this panel. Oh my goodness. Like, everyone there is so massive. Like, if you look at Izo and I think like two of the Beast Pirate guys are the only guys who are like normal sized humans. Everyone else is so massive. When you look at the difference, like if you're standing there. Anyway, guys, yeah, the headless samurai were really cool. Although I didn't really notice how it was like meant to be after Kiku and possibly Izo until he mentioned it, which was really interesting. And the whole headless thing, he's coming to kill them. Yeah. Uh, Now I'm just gonna jump straight to the end of the chapter and say I don't know what happened there. There was a clash. He looked very like calm. So the blood, I don't know what that's about. And then the crying, I don't know what that's about. Although I will throw in my ideas of possibilities, which is possibly that maybe he's dead. Maybe Kanjuro is dead. That's the end of Kanjuro. I mean, people are dying. It's no surprise for you guys if you're watching this. You probably read the chapter, but people are dying in this chapter. Wow. Maybe Kanjuro's dead. And maybe Kiku's like crying, reminiscing of the good old days when Kanjuro was still on their side. Maybe that's why Kiku's crying. Or maybe Kiku's crying because I don't know whether to say he or she with Kiku, because as much as Kiku is a woman at heart, Kiku introduces themselves like with the male pronoun. So do I say he? Do I still say he? I want to say he because that's what Kiku uses, right? That seems right. Seems fair. He. Kiku's crying, or it could be that Kanjuro chopped off Kiku's head. Maybe chopped off Kiku's head, and Kiku was crying that that he failed, and he probably plopped the head onto the headless samurai, and he's building his army of dead scabbards. Possible, or that I think the most likely one, someone was probably just stabbed. It's not a death per se, but stabbed and incapacitated for the time being. Okay, I need to hurry this along. Let's keep moving. Another thing, I mentioned this in the last one. I wanted to see what Inu's leg was, and of course it's a sword. I was scared for a moment that it would be nothing, but it's a sword. At least we got a sword. Two-sword style. Inu two-sword style. Or Zo two-sword style. I don't know what it is. But let's see that two-sword style happen. into the chapter. Wow. Okay, so I wanted to see what Luffy would make of this, because now that Oda is introducing these kinds of characters, who identify as Odin, identify as a woman, man, all that things. I want to see what Luffy would make of it. And Luffy's just like, well, no, he was a great guy. Like, you can't be him. No. And of course, there's so many things which are so badly translated in this chapter. I don't know. The what I read, there was like some French in it as well, which is fine for me because I can read French. But why was they French? Anyway, um, yeah, Luffy's like, no, you can't be Odin. Like, he didn't seem to have a problem with her wanting to be someone else, but you can't be Odin. Odin was a great guy, so you can't be him. You can be someone else, but not Odin. And I don't know why they started a fight over that. But onto the chains, I originally thought that the chains were just part of the cosplay, because of the time he died, of the time he was boiled. That's what I assumed. I didn't know that the chains were actually going to be significant, which makes sense because it seems that that's what was hinted at back in Whole Cake, and people thought that would be a big plot point, but it turned out not to be, and some people were upset. I know that, but now it it is a big plot point, and it seemed that it would have been something where Luffy, does the real quickly, but now they're going to get into something else, which I'll get into in a second. But it seems like it's going to be a major plot point, which works fine because now it just fits seamlessly into the story. It doesn't. It's not something where we have to really explain something that's coming from nowhere. We know where it came from. We have this experience. We had those hopes for it, so we just bring those hopes into Wano. Easy. Apart from that, what was I going to say? It's interesting, the new Onigashima project. Okay, no, before new Onigashima project. Age. Yamato is 28. Yamato is 28 because Yamato said that they've had these chains since they were 8 years old, and then later on, he says that they've been trapped here for 20 years. So if they had it since they were 8 years old, and now it's been 20 years, then they're 28. It's not difficult maths. Unless the official release says different number of years, they're 28. So basically Yamato and Momo are, for all intents and purposes, the same age, technically speaking. So just like Momo's 8 back then, Yamato's 8. So my video talking about, the differences between Yamato and Momo, go check that out if you haven't, is, it's even more so that deep because they are technically supposed to be the same age, and they were for Kaido back then. But onto the Onigashima project, now we see the parallels between Odin and Yamato even more, because Odin and Yamato both want to travel out to sea, and for all the Yamato for Straw Hat, Yamato for Nakama fans, whew, it's real. But I will say this: I'm not against it, saying right now. But all I'm saying is that Yamato gotta go to the back of the line. Like, there's a line here, starting with Carrot, then Momo, then Yamato. So Yamato, you gotta go to the back of the line because we're making a line with this thing. Jinbei was in the front, but then he joined, so he's graduated, but you gotta go back. What do you think this is? You can't cut. Even Luffy's just like, no, 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 no. He's like, no, you can't cut the line. So, in due time. I was gonna say this. The parallels is that, look, Yamato wants to go out to sea just like Odin, but both Yamato and Odin had fathers who wanted them to become the rulers of Wano. That's great. I love that. Just seeing that is really great because now Yamato is really becoming Odin and really becoming Kozuki. It would be interesting if in the journal those like how to read the poneglyphs as well, or how to like decipher what they mean, which would be really great. But okay, at this point, I can see Yamato actually joining the Straw Hats, but like as an honorary member like Odin, possibly, but not permanently, I would say. Coming back to the chapter, New Onigashima Project. So I wanted to make a video on this, but then I realized I don't have enough to make a video. So I'm just going to say my thought. Like, it's a quick 30-second thought. I'm just going to say here is that I knew like Onigashima would partly be what it is now, but I just didn't know like the other part. I just didn't think that was a big enough announcement. And the idea which I knew was that they would like really transfer Onigashima to somewhere else. And I mean, possibly the number one place is the mainland of Wano, and I knew this because back a couple of chapters ago, Marco mentioned that they call that little island Onigashima now, meaning that there was a first Onigashima project which turned that little island into Onigashima. And so now the new Onigashima project would be to turn somewhere else into Onigashima. It being the flower capital makes sense, And that's why there was confusion, because Beast Pirates confusion, because even this chapter is like, wow, they've been allies for so long. What's this about? And more confusion from Orochi's guys. But now on to Orochi's guys. Now, I wanted to see how this would go from the moment he made the reveal, but it seems that... Wait, before I say that, Orochi got cut off. Literally got cut off. With King's blade, might I add. So all those who are wondering, does King actually use his blade? Now I don't know. Because before I didn't know, but now I really don't know. Does he just carry it for Kaido? Maybe he's just Kaido's right-hand man like that. He just carries Kaido's sword. Kaido is also a swordsman. But I don't know. Or maybe he just let Kaido use it. I really don't know. Is Shogun man dead? What's his name? Orochi? I would have said no right off the bat. Like, I don't even believe it for 1 second. But now, based on... I just watched Brago's video. And based on that, I'm not sure. Because as much as it would make sense for him to be alive, probably because of his devil fruit and him, you know, just as a character, he probably would be alive. But then because it seems his role in the story has more or less finished, then I don't know about that. But then you go back to the fact that Odin doesn't kill characters. At least not in the present storyline. So we really don't know. And then, so I think that he may be alive, but from now on, he's going to be a really wild card, because I don't think the Alliance will accept him, but I don't think Kaido will accept him either. So he's just in the middle. But I was going to say, moving on to the Alliance and these guys, is that it seems that this is the way we're going to defeat Kaido. That ever since, and we probably should have seen this coming, but ever since they entered, they've just been getting allies. And I wanted to see how this would go to the end of the chapter before I really drew this conclusion. But I firmly believe it right now, because it all depended on whether Luffy came out of the attic or not in that moment. And I'm surprised he didn't. Whatever. He actually came out of the attic. So I think now that, you know, there's the 5 seconds, but now Luffy's going to deserve everything. And so I think that these guys, the Alliance is going to attack. And I think that a lot of Orochi's men are going to realize that they have a chance at attacking, you know, Kaido with the Alliance. Because as much as we think these guys are scumbags who work with Orochi, some of them are probably not. Some of them actually just grew up believing what they were told, and you know, that's what they've known their whole lives, that's what they trained for. So maybe we might see 10,000 of Orochi's men join the Alliance. If that happens, the 10,000, then you have 10,000 plus the roughly 5,000 is 15,000 against 20,000, and those are more even numbers, considering that we're talking about the Samurai of Wano. Quick side note, it is important to note that roughly speaking, if you do the maths, around 15,000 of Kaido's guys are waiters. 15,000. I've done the numbers, but yeah, it's a roughly 15,000. It's basically 15,000 waiters, although some people maybe think I'm crazy, because I knew based when they said several hundred gifters, but anyway, we got confirmation last chapter that it's around 500 gifters, so that includes headliners and actual gifters. And if there are 500, we know that the ratio is 1 in every 10, so there must be of gifters and pleasures together around 5,000. If there are 5,000 of those, then we know from numbers about 10, Toboropo is 6, All Stars 3, and Kaido is 1. That's less than 100 people, less than 50 people even. And so, roughly speaking, it's 5,000 of everyone: pleasures, gifters, headliners, numbers, Apu, headliners, All Stars, and Kaido. That's around 5,000. If Kaido's 20,000 in total, the only people who make that up, waiters. But anyway, back to what I was saying, is that now the numbers are more balanced. It would be more balanced, I think, hypothetically. So it seems like this war is really about evening out the numbers. And if that's the case, then all these other people, I don't think they're coming. So, I mean, I never thought that the fleet was coming in the first place, but it seems like definitely they're not coming anymore. And everyone else who we thought may come is not coming to help the Alliance, at least. So if you want to still throw in people like Weevil, Blackbeard, Shanks, all those, feel free, because those are guys that are like wild cards, but no one is coming to help the Alliance, I don't think. If this is the way the story will go, which is what I think, no one is coming. But anyway, guys, I have a lot of thoughts in my brain right now. I'm going to explode. But you know what? I'll probably just make them into videos and put out more content. And guys, you know what? Speaking of putting out more content, please support this channel. All you just have to do is like watch the videos to the end. Yeah. So thank you for who's reached this far. Anyway, guys, please like this video if you did like the video, and if I said anything or if you feel like I missed anything super important, please put it down. You know, might make a difference later on. Anyway, guys, also, if you know someone who needs to hear the truth, please share this video with them. If you still have time, watch one more video. If not, guys, I'll see you in the next one.